Hello and happy midweek greetings to you from Radically Rational and radicallyrational.com. Can we all at least agree on one thing? Framber Valdez had a much better night than Donald J. Trump. I just want to earnestly ask you to do this. For now, I will simply ask you to actually read the latest indictment. And by the way, that's number 3 if you're scoring at home. Just read it. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your fellow citizens, you owe it to our country to read it. The evidence is clear, it is compelling, it is tangible, it is irrefutable and undeniable. You know how ESPN has 30 for 30? Jumpin' Jack turned out 45 pages for 45. Here's what we know. Beyond not just a reasonable doubt, but beyond any doubt, Trump lost. He knew he lost. Quoting directly from the indictment, Trump's claims were false and the defendants knew they were false. Those around him knew he lost, and they told him he lost. He then, nevertheless, dragged the country that he claims to love through the largest and most damaging constitutional crisis in our nation's history. While his presidency is over, his reign of chaos continues to this day, and yet untold disastrous consequences have resonated that will reverberate for generations to come. He tried to overthrow the government of the United States. I can remember a time when we used to, frown on stuff like that. All we really need to know about Trump's mindset is what he told Mike Pence when Pence told him he did not have the authority to overturn the results of the election. Trump to Pence, quote, "You're too honest. You're too honest." Any shred, any grain of honesty is always too honest for Donald J. Trump. And consider the words of former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham. Quote, "Trump told me that as long as you keep repeating something, it doesn't matter what you say." Joseph Goebbels would be proud. The big lie über alles. The attempt by Trump's defense team to frame this as a free speech or First Amendment issue is patently ridiculous. I won't hear it. Team Trump would be much better served to simply claim ignorance, which seems to be what their defense is going to be, because pairing Trump with ignorance is always reasonable. Regardless of your tribal identity, please read the indictment, read it carefully, attentively, and read it in its entirety. If you don't read it, then kindly never reference the rule of law ever again under any circumstances. Not even Nixon was ultimately willing to destroy the underpinnings of our country. These acts committed by Trump and his lackeys were unprecedented in their lawless depravity. Don't act like this is no big deal or argue that everybody lies. Don't deflect. Don't lay this off on political partisanship or weaponization of the DOJ. This is about the rule of law. There is not only probable cause, there is overwhelming evidence that Trump attempted to defraud the United States, obstructed official proceedings, and conspired to deprive citizens of the right to vote and have one's vote counted. No, see, this was treason, or else nothing is. Trump cared about and continues to care about nothing other than himself. Facts matter. Jumpin' Jack, just like us here at Radically Rational, we're bringing facts back into fashion and making simple sanity sexy again. Clearly our work is not done. I do want to invite you over to our website, radicallyrational.com. More on this subject, more on some sports things as well. We'll get into the sports things a little more in depth tomorrow. We already mentioned the no-hitter and almost perfect game thrown by Framber Valdez last night. Justin Verlander heading back to the Astros. That's big news. And something that's just alarming, have you read about what's going on with the starting quarterback at Iowa State and his involvement in gambling? This imperils the sport. Have a good Wednesday. We're Radically Rational.